Now let's see how to export application binaries with Docker. So what is the meaning of exporting application binaries? So far we talked about how to package your application as a Docker image. Sometimes, we might be interested in, just getting the binaries. Let's say you copied your entire source code into your container image, uh, like here. Okay. So you copied your source code and you built the binaries, and these whatever binaries that you have, they exist within the Docker image. Okay, let's say I want to, get these binaries, whatever you're creating within the Docker image, into my local system. Let's say I'm using Maven based Docker image to build my jar or war file. So once you're done packaging it, the jar or war file will be there within the image. Okay. So of course I can use various commands to copy that jar file from the container or the image, I mean, back to my host system. Okay. But I also have other techniques using export options. Okay. So what these export options will do is, so you can export the entire file system. Okay. Um, of your, what do you say, the container into your local machine. Okay. So you can build a binary or jar or war file. It can be anything within the Docker file. But after it is done, so instead of, packing it as a Docker image, you can get the results into your local system. Okay. That is exporting the build results. So by default, Docker uses a Docker exporter. Okay. So this will containerize your image. You can also use local exporter where the entire container file system can be exported onto your local machine. So the way you do is you just use hyphen hyphen output, and then you can just give the, out argument, like where exactly you wanted to store those files. Okay, it is better I'll just show it. So I'll just use. Okay, so I'll just show you the source code. It is basically a simple Maven based image. Okay, you have POM file, and the artifact, the packaging format is jar. So you have the Docker file. So if you see, it is a multi-stage Docker file. You are just generating the jar in the first stage, and then in the second stage you are just copying that jar file, whatever jar file that you're creating, into the next stage to containerize and to further reduce the size. Okay. So ideally, if I do Docker build, what will happen? So this entire thing will be in the image format, right? So let's say Docker build hyphen T. I'll say, mm, so let's say Java latest, something like this, and I'll put dot. So this will build your final jar or war file, and it will put inside your Docker image. Okay, so let me show that. I think, did I also show you the Docker CP command by any chance? Docker copy command, like copying files from local to remote and remote, I mean, from local to image and image to local?
I
No,
think
right?
no,
I
no.
think I missed it. Okay, I'll show you that way as well. Okay, so if you see here, the final, the output is Docker exporter. I mean, the default is Docker exporter, which will export your entire image. I mean, entire this build as a Docker image. Okay, so I can just show you the Docker images. So you'll have that Java latest, so which is 1 or 2 MB due to multi-stage builds. Okay, we know that this jar file is uh, within the image, right? Okay, so what I can do is I can export that entire images file system locally also, so that I can start using this jar file. So the way I do is, so within this particular folder, I'm just going to use export. This is just a name, uh, or let's say you can just say it as temp. It's up to you. Now, when I'm building it, okay, so what I'll do is I'll say output the results to within my current directory, use temp folder. Okay. Now let's see what will happen. See, in Windows, you'll get some permissions error. Okay, because Windows may not support or this container. I mean, Docker CLI won't have the permission to copy. But in case if you are on Linux, just try to give full permissions to the stem so that your container can write anything into it. But now also it will write, but it won't write the entire file system. Okay, it will write few files. Okay, so exporting, so there is an error exporting the complete file system, but if you see the temp, it has exported few folders. Inside that, app is one folder. Okay, because within the container, within this Docker file, we have work directory set to app, and within this app, basically you will have this demo.zar file, right? And if you expand this app, you'll find this. Okay, clear, guys?
It will
Got it?
image will not be created, right? Only the export works.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Because there is an error, image is not generated, but export worked.
Generally, without the permission error or something, so even the image will gets created and export works, or any one.
Yeah, image gets created and the results will also get exported.
Okay.
Okay. So due to some permission error in Windows, you're getting this error. But if you create this temp folder, try to give full permissions like change mode -R777. Your Docker should be able to write to that particular folder. Okay. And there is one more command. So let's say I create a container uh, out of that Java latest. Okay. And do Docker PS. So we have this command called Docker copy. Okay. So where I can copy the files from your local to your Docker container. From Docker container, you can also copy into your local machine. Okay. So what I'm trying to do now is, I'm copying. See, now first is the source and the other is the destination. So that is how the command is created. So here the source is your container. Okay. So source is your container. So I'll say the name of the container is the source. Okay, because we have the container named as web. I'm using the name of the container as a web. And within this web, where exactly the files are existing. Let's say I'm interested in this, this file app.zar, which is available under /app. Okay, so I'm just taking that as the source and I'm just using destination as dot, which means the current directory. Okay, now see here what happened. What happened is copied, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the source I mentioned as the container, so it copied. So it can be like the other way. Okay, so for example, let me just create a file called something like index.html. Uh, I'll simply put hello, something like this. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll copy this index.html, whatever I have, into the web container into /app. Okay. So now it copied into /app. So how do I check it? So I'll exec into that web container and then I'll simply say ls on /app. Okay. It is always the issue. Let me start sh and then do ls because I'm already on /app. You can see from local, I just copied index.html into my container. Got it?
Yes.
Okay.
Vikram, generally, to copy commands, we use within servers, Linux, we use SCP or rsync something like that, where both of the systems should have the permissions or the user interactions between both. Here, Docker and the host has that connection inbuilt.
No, it ideally will not have that connection. But if you're trying to copy, I've never tried it, but if you're trying to copy into a folder, that is mounted as read only through Docker volumes, it may fail. I've not tried it. You can give it a try.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the example which you gave only. So I mean, there is no need of these SSH keys or something like that for SCP copy.
Nothing, because you're already on the same host.
Okay. I cannot copy to the remote server, right? Destination for
Remote container, yes, you can't.